Welcome to Jesus Changes Everything, a daily podcast dedicated to providing a fresh look at the ancient and glorious truth that Jesus not only reigns, but is busy about the business of bringing all things under subjection, that celebrates the wonder and the glory that he has been given all authority in heaven and on earth. I'm going to once again take a moment of personal privilege to devote today's podcast to something I love to do, which is to speak well of my wife. I suspect that there may be one or two of you that get tired of it, but I also suspect there may be many more of you who actually enjoy hearing it because, you can tell how sincere I am. I'm giving this segment to speak well of Lisa for a couple of reasons. I thought it would be a fitting time to do this. It is, as you're listening, the day after Mother's Day. But there was something else that happened over the weekend that I wanted to share with you about. And that is simply this. My precious wife over the weekend graduated summa cum laude from Liberty University. When my wife was a single mother, taking care of 3 very small children, she had the chutzpah and the pluck to put herself through college at a community college in the Dayton, Ohio area, Sinclair Community College. She was in her late 20s when she secured a 2-year degree in dietetics. While she was there, she was also named the queen of the school for one of the 2 years that she was there. So she had that going for her as well. But at that time, a 2-year degree in dietetics was what was necessary to enter into that field, and she earned that degree and entered into that field, and as a single mom, finished that degree program and landed a directorship of dietetics at an institution, and bought her first home, and just cared for her children in a wonderful way. But she determined that she wanted to go and acquire a bachelor's degree as well. And by the way, she is planning to move forward in pursuit of a master's degree. So over the course of the last several years, she has taken courses at the University of St. Francis here in Fort Wayne, classes at Ivy Tech Community College, which is also where I have been a teacher. But her program is in and through Liberty University Online, from which she has graduated, as I said, summa cum laude. And assuming things go in the last few weeks as they have gone so far, she will be graduating with a 4.0 grade average, which is almost an entire point higher than my GPA when I graduated from college some, more than 35 years ago. So I'm just enormously proud, not only that she has done so well, not only that she's learned so much, not only that she's been an encouragement to other students in the class, but that she's managed to do this at the same time that she's taking care of me and taking care of our sons. And just mountains of work in caring for various and sundry grandchildren along the way. She has been working diligently and faithfully and it is showing. And it's just something that I am really deeply and profoundly proud of, and that I get the great pleasure of watching as she goes through all this, as she does all this. This really is quite an accomplishment to come back to school at this late day. And by the way, things have wildly changed. Wildly. And I don't mean, by the way, for the easier. I've watched the assignments that she's had to do, and I know that online programs tend to have less than robust reputation, but I also know that that's not always the case. I've been really impressed with what Liberty offers. There is a tendency in an online program to sort of emphasize the student learning on their own, and a little less sort of downloading information from the professor onto the student. And so there's just been mountains of writing and careful, more than I ever had to do when I was an undergrad, in a significant level, and more carefully and precisely than I ever had to do. I watch her and I watch what she does, and I even think about my own students at the community college, and I think, I don't know how in the world any of my community college students could survive this program that my wife is in the middle of thriving through. So I'm very, very proud of her and excited about her accomplishment, and grateful for being able to be in a position to watch her as she has succeeded so well in her studies. But we are smart enough, I trust, to know that smart is not one of the fruit of the Spirit. What I love even more than seeing her succeed as a student is watching her succeed as a believer, and as a mother, as an older woman helping younger women. And I get to see that all the time. When my wife's not working with our boys, or taking care of our home, or doing her studies, chances are you'll find her on the phone. And chances are on the phone she'll be talking with people who are going through this hardship or that hardship, and she'll be giving them good, sound biblical counsel and compassionate ear. She has just got a great gift. And by the way, in the midst of all of this, she is working diligently to establish and to set free, if you will, this vision that she has called the Purpose-Driven Wife, where she would like to minister to women who are in situations just like she was when she was in school so many years ago at Sinclair Community College. That she wants to be a help to people who, whether through death or divorce, find themselves sort of without the support and encouragement that they've had, and are struggling and need help. And so I'm eager to see that do that. She's just such a remarkable woman. I remember soon after we were married, and we had moved here, and I was in the closet, and I came across this hat that said Isaiah 58 on it. That's the Isaiah 58 project. And I said, "What's this?" And she's like, "Oh, no, you remember, I told you about that." And the truth is, I didn't remember. She said, "Oh, I used to have this ministry where we would feed the hungry, and it was called the Isaiah 58 project, and we raised a bunch of money from the local community, and were able to get food and take care of people in their needs. And we just did that for so many years. And here's a newspaper clipping. It's like there's nothing she can't do. Well, except maybe boast about herself. So here's this woman who is giving of herself to bless and teach and instruct our boys. She's a homeschooling mom, homeschooling our boys and changing their lives, turning their lives around and equipping them while at the same time being a student, while at the same time birthing a ministry, while at the same time being an entrepreneur, while at the same time being a loving and tender wife to me. She is a Proverbs 31 woman. And by the way, one of the sort of visions for the Purpose-Driven Wife ministry is to establish a Proverbs 31 school to help women learn many of the skills that can bless a family. Just today, Lisa was cooking multiple meals and setting them up to be frozen, and she was getting tools and equipment for gardening vegetables and for canning, and I mean, it's just enough to make you dizzy. Oh, and by the way, she's also a regular guest on the Jesus Changes Everything podcast and gets to drop wisdom there time and time again. I'm eager to get her back on here, but unfortunately we're running a little behind because we've got so much going on. My hope is, and the plan is, for us in a few days to head out to Lynchburg so that she can put on her cap and gown and walk across that stage and receive that degree, and we'll all shout and hoot and holler and have our buttons burst with pride. So, today's segment is about my precious wife. It's about how proud I am of her. It's about all that she has accomplished. And we haven't even touched on all the hardships that have accompanied this. You know that we both had COVID for a time. You may not know that she is still in recovery from sepsis that came within minutes of killing her just a year and a half ago, roughly. And there's more. I mean, there's more and more hardships. But you know what keeps her going? And this was so much of what attracted me to her in the first place. This is a woman who trusts God. And every time I see these great accomplishments, I realize this is what this comes from. It's like watching David face Goliath every day. It's not because David's amazing. It's because David is trusting in and attuned with and resting in the living God who is amazing. That's what I get to live with. I get to watch my wife walk with the Lord, and I get to walk with them both. I'm a blessed man, and I'm a blessed man because He has given her to me as a wife. So I hope you'll look forward to when she's back on with us in the not too distant future. And I hope that if you are married, that your family had a joyful Mother's Day celebration. And I hope that God would be pleased to bless Lisa and me with many, many, many more to come. Sweetheart, if you're listening, and I'll probably make sure that you do, I love you, and I'm proud of you. You've been listening to the Jesus Changes Everything podcast, a production of Dunamis Fellowship, the teaching outreach of Dr. R.C. Sproul Jr. If you've enjoyed this podcast, we encourage you to subscribe, which you can do at all the usual outlets, to tell your friends, and to spread the word. To learn more about the work of Dunamis Fellowship, please visit rcsproulJR.com and join us next time on Jesus Changes Everything.